The Design-Build Studio represents an alternative model for architectural education, one that broadens the role of the architect in society rather than narrowing it to the current status of the design expert. The Design-Build Studio at the Technion, known as Studio 1-to-1, focuses on communities that typically do not have access to design professionals. Together with the Technion Social Hub, this studio, on the one hand, exposes the Technion students to the challenge of disadvantaged communities, and on the other hand, exposes the youth in these communities to the transformative potential of higher education and design. There are currently 56 community gardens in Haifa. Studio 1-to-1 was approached by the director of the Ramat Begin Community Center, the neighborhood social worker and activists of the Ramat Begin Community Center Garden, to help them create a meeting space for the youth of their community. A visit to the site revealed the community's underlying frustration. While the municipality sees these gardens as a vehicle for neighborhood activities, the reality has been less inspiring. Under the trees, kids had set up makeshift meeting places of broken sofas and old car seats. A garbage-strewn environment encouraging exactly the kind of vagrant behavior the community activists fear. The studio began with a visit to the site with all the stakeholders: the municipality, the community center, the local school children, parents, and community garden activists. Each was asked to outline their expectations and the help they could offer to achieve these goals. Our students then began collecting all the information needed to begin design. Besides mapping the physical environment, this involved mapping the demography using a questionnaire posted on social media and interviews with parents. 13 design proposals were developed by the students individually during the first month. They then distilled these to 3 distinct proposals and worked in teams of 4 to develop the design. The students presented 3 proposals to the community at a public meeting.
אז בעצם חשבנו על הרעיון של השביל, שבעצם אתה הולך דרכו ובכל מקום חווה חוויה שונה.
אנחנו לא בוחרים קצת מהחלופות, אנחנו מדברים על האיכויות בכל אחד מהפרויקטים, איך אתם רואים את זה, כדי שנדע להתכנס לחלופה.
The community was encouraged not to select one alternative, but to respond to the design ideas presented in all 3.
ניסינו 6 שנים, זה לא עובד. רגע, לא הבנתי. לא עובד, אין אנשים בגינה. ואם נתקרב יותר למודלים שבאמת הציגו פה הסטודנטים, יכול להיות, אני לא אומר גן עגול להפוך, אבל לעשות באמת מודלים שיותר, מה שגם יותר מזמין.
אני חושב שכל הפתרונות מאוד יפים ויזואלית, ומזמינים אנשים חדשים לבוא לגינה. וכן, אם העוגות יהיה להם את האזורים הייעודים להם, אנשים, זה יותר נגיש לאנשים. היום אתה בא, אתה מתחיל לעבוד במשהו, רגע, זה לא העוגה היא שם. אני חושב שזה יעשה משהו, לדעתי, יעלה את הגינה הקהילתית כיתה, כמו שאומרים, מביא אותה לעידן העכשווי.
בעיקרון, הרעיון הוא שכן, הרעיון הוא יפה, אבל צריך לדייק אותו לפי השכנים גם.
מה פתאום? הבעיה היא גם פה, לקחו עצים, בכניסה היו עצי שקט, כליל החורש, שקט, כליל החורש.
האזור של ההתכנסות זה מאוד חשוב, מה שאמרת מאוד מאוד חשוב. אזור שהוא כמה שיותר יוכל להיות נדע פתוח, יותר שמסה של אנשים יוכלו להתכנס שם, יושבים שם עם מחצלות, באים עם כלבים, מבשלים באזור הזה, הכל. ונכון היום זה פחות אפשרי.
Back in the studio, the students then developed one design embracing and responding to all the community's comments and feedback. To better understand the complexity of the structure and resolve design issues, the students built 3D models and a 1-to-10 scale mock-up. The final design development involved intense teamwork. Roles were assigned. While some students prepared the application for the building permit, others resolved structural details, calculated quantities, specified materials, analyzed costing, met with consultants, and planned the site logistics. The team produced a complete set of drawings, a bill of quantities and costs analysis. The students are responsible for contacting suppliers and negotiating prices or requesting donations of materials or services. Working with a real client with a fixed budget and timetable, the students rise to the challenge and take full responsibility. Importantly, they learn to understand the broader impact of their design. At the second community meeting, the stakeholders reviewed the plans, the 3D images, and the mock-up for final comments and approval. Finally, during the semester break, over a period of 10 intense days of work, the students constructed the building on site. Without exception, they worked from 8 a.m. to sunset, guiding and instructing the bobcat driver, casting concrete foundations, cutting timber and steel, and laying the floor. All the work was done by the students together with volunteers from the community. For many, the opening ceremony on the afternoon of the 10th day was an emotional event. Seemingly out of nowhere, a building emerges from the sketches and models. The ceremony was attended by members of the community, the municipality, companies that donated supplies or materials, and families of the students. Studio 1-to-1 is a radical program suggesting that design excellence requires multidisciplinary collaboration. Architectural design is meant to serve the community. Architectural training should include construction experience. Architects should share responsibility for construction budgets and timetables. Architectural practice must involve entrepreneurship. Architectural design is a form of research, exploring new special ideas, materials, and technologies. Good architecture requires intense teamwork and multidisciplinary collaboration. The one is a process of retaking the profession by becoming the entrepreneur, involved in initiating projects, inspiring the client, collaboration, understanding the economics, taking responsibility for the schedule, and becoming directly involved in the construction. For many students, the Design Build Studio is the single most formative experience of their architectural education. It gives meaning to their work. It frames design in a social, environmental, and economic context. Students see themselves as activist designers who are nurturing skills to change their world.